Hello, Furball Nation, and welcome to week 3 of March of the Combiners. So we've already gone over an old combiner and a less old combiner alongside a new combiner. Now it's time for something different. I put up a poll for all my YouTube members, and we had 4 great options up for grabs. And the winner is Rail Racer. At last, someone cares about train transformers. Oh, sorry, Astro Train. People love you. To give a quick introduction, Rail Racer is a 3-bot combiner from the 2001 Robots in Disguise anime. And as you can tell by their name, they're all themed after trains, specifically Japanese bullet trains. Railspike, their veteran and stern leader, the sarcastic and easygoing Rapid Run, and the fussy and oblivious Midnight Express. Now, I haven't seen RD 2001 all the way as of writing, but they're a pretty fun bunch. I like how they continued the whole Brotherhood theme that seems to be a recurring thing with RID, with all the members bantering off of each other, but all the funny quips and combining they do don't result in sales, at least in America and Europe. Unfortunately for Team Bullet Train transformers don't really do well in the Western world. The only exception being Astro Train, because he's also a space shuttle and an older style train, which is a bit more charming to us Yanks. There's kind of a reason why Thomas the Tank Engine ranks high in toy sales, and they're the only toy trains that really do so, unless Chuggington has some hot selling toys that I'm not aware of. Whereas Rail Racer and similar train-themed combiner Raiden are based on pretty modern and pretty Japanese trains, and in Japan, train culture is a much bigger thing compared to here in the States, which mostly consists of shaming you for saving time and money by taking a plane, trying to explain why a bullet train across the entirety of America is totally doable, and after a long day of complaining online, they return to their only pleasure in life, shoving their Bachman-Gordon model up their ass. So sadly, there hasn't been a revisit of Rail Racer as of late. No legacy figures, no masterpiece figures, or even a third-party revisit. Raiden at least got both the third-party and MP treatment. I mean, the first one is monstrously huge and expensive, and the other one is possibly the worst toy ever released in Transformers history, and believe me, that is saying something. But at least it's something, and it's a shame because I think there's a lot of charm to these 3. We'll start out in train mode as well because they're one of the few combiners where they actually combine from their robot mode. Starting up first with team leader Railspike with his 500 series Shinkansen train form. And right away, I'm feeling this vehicle. If there's anything that RID absolutely nailed, it was their vehicle modes. They just look so unbelievably clean and tidy. There's no hint of robot anywhere outside of maybe the feet on the very end, but even they're pretty well integrated. There's not even a sign of robot on the underside. Dig that shiny blue paint across the top. Also, I love that the sign on the side says 500 Cybertron. Makes me imagine what the train lines were like on Cybertron, which, oh my god, if we got a transformer of one of the trains from 1, yes and please. Transformation is crazy simple, like you can bust this out in no time. The most challenging part is sometimes his head likes to pop off, unfortunately. But considering how crazy some of the Robots in Disguise transformations like to be, it's honestly a bit of a relief. And Railspike himself ain't nothing to sneeze at. Get a load of those crazy shoulder pads, they're like 3 times bigger than he is. And I really dig the blue and white color scheme he's packing. He's a very calming to look at figure. Funny considering he's got a head coming out of his chest like a xenomorph. Articulation is pretty solid for the time, not quite as good as some other RD figures, but still hang with the lads, even packing some perfect elbows. Also get a load of this lightsaber weapon he's packing. This thing makes for a pretty sweet weapon by itself, and it even glows, if the light still worked. Also, all the weapons can be used to connect the 3 trains together, if I weren't missing some. Look, it was either get them incomplete or lose a kidney. Next up is Rapid Run, based on a 700 series Hikari Railstar train. I'm being specific with these because it's actually even branded with the Railstar logo. And no joke, this is actually one of the first Transformers I ever had as a kid. I know in that one video I said Midnight Express, but I got it mixed up. Leave me alone, it's been 20 years and I only remembered after watching an old family video where I was playing with this guy. Anyhow, while Railspike was nice, something about the gray and gold color is really unique on Rapid Run. He looks very subdued and understated, like he's not about flash, he's all about speed, but he's not above a little bit of flair. What with the glittery front, maybe he's a big fan of Starlight Express. Like his older brother, transformation is properly simple, almost baby mode. I mean, I figured it out when I was 5. There's a bit of charm to Rapid Run's simplicity. It's not a big transformation, but he looks remarkably clean, apart from that giant titty missile. Face sculpt is a real treat too, with that golden head sculpt with the silver mouth and the shield. I love the way the shield is formed from a lot of its train back. Is it parts forming? Yes. Is it cool as hell? Yes. Though if you lose this bit, it does mean you're gonna have an incomplete train. Oh well, it's more complete than California's high-speed rail will ever be. Ba-ba-ba-ba-da-ba, bureaucrats! And finally, there's Midnight Express, based on the now-retired E4 Max style bullet train. He's definitely the longest of the 3, but I will say I don't think he works as well as the other 2. While I dig the blue and yellow, something about the shape looks odd to me. Kinda looks like a long finger, and he doesn't quite like to line up, though that might be due to the age. I do think it is pretty clever though how the panels for the top are positioned to look like curtains inside the windows. Nice touch. The transformation is nice and simple like the rest, but good God, what are these proportions? The stumpy body, even bigger shoulder pads than Railspike, tiny arms, and these legs. These legs! Mechtex Prime's legs were bizarre, but this guy goes way beyond that. I know someone was gonna have to do most of the quite literal leg work, but did you have to make it so obvious? So there you go. 3 train transformers if you will, ready to go. While Midnight Express is definitely the weakest, the first 2 are genuinely pretty great robots for the time. Robots in Disguise had some really fun, unique toys with some real hidden gems. And given how combiners tend to come and go and usually revolve around the big names, it's nice that they tried to bring in a completely fresh team here. But enough talk. Gatai! Transformation is mostly pretty simple, and yeah, as you can see, Midnight Express was basically halfway there already. And here's the final bot himself, which gotta say, looks pretty impressive, but also very goofy at the same time. On the one hand, the colors are nicely balanced with plenty of white and blue, though poor Rapid Run mostly has the job of backpack. That sculpt is genuinely a really cool one with some nice use of translucent plastic, and for the time, especially for a combiner, there's a decent attempt at articulation, ratchet jointed legs, a really nice head swivel for the time, decent arm movement, finger articulation, and even his wings are posable. However, there is one big problem, and it probably has a lot to do with the age. Some of the joints have gotten pretty loose, especially in the arms, though some silicone shock oil helped that out. Less workable are the legs, which unfortunately have a bit of shunk action for the transformation. And normally I like a bit of shunk, but they're the old style of shunk, where essentially they collapse in on themselves. It's a similar problem I have with Laser Prime, so if anyone knows how to fix the issue for both Rail Racer and Laser Prime, please let me know. As a result of his leg issue, he can be a bit of a pain to stand, and you kinda have to stand him like this, which coupled with the backpack just makes him look like a hunchback. But regardless of his issues, Rail Racer has a lot of charm to him. He does look pretty clean in a lot of ways for a combiner of the time, especially compared to Magnaboss, who frankly had a even worse backpack. And I know it's unlikely cause haha trains, but I think Rail Racer here needs a new figure. I think nowadays, thanks to Legacy, we're a little bit more open to figures from some of the odder bits of Transformers history, some of which never got a US release before. Like, are you really gonna tell me these guys have a worse shot of a legacy-style figure than G-Axis, a character that originated from a mediocre comic from the 90s? Racer at least was on US TV and actually had a toy released here. But what about you? How do you feel about Rail Racer? Do you think he deserves another shot, or do you think it just isn't happening? Let me know in the comments, please subscribe, and next week is gonna be a special one. I get to talk about Age of the Prime Silverbolt. I'm so excited. I get to talk about a completely new figure right as it comes out. And... What's that? Huh? What do you mean he doesn't come out until the week after? Are you kidding me? Ugh. No, just give me a Devastator to review. Any of them. I didn't say bootleg Devastators.